When Binance lists these coins, there's going to be absolutely explosive growth for them. But how do we know when or even if Binance will list these cryptos? Well, I'm going to explain to you by looking at exactly what Binance has been using to find crypto coins to list, to explain exactly why these coins have a very high chance of listing very soon on the world's biggest crypto exchange. We're also going to look at some smaller coins that maybe you haven't really even heard of to understand that they also have a very good chance of listing at some point during this bull market. So do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's get into today's video. Now, first things first, why is this such a big deal to list on Binance? Well, it's the world's biggest crypto exchange. It's an exchange that pretty much all of us have used at some point, and it has the biggest volumes. Therefore, if you have a crypto coin, you want to have a lot of volume flowing through your crypto, because ultimately it's going to upset the supply and demand model and will cause your coin to rocket in price. Also means that more people have access to be able to buy it. But getting on Binance is pretty damn difficult and is seen as pretty much the holy grail for many crypto projects out there. And here's a bit of a reason why. This is Quant. When it listed on Binance, it went very, very quickly all the way up nearly 320% in just the space of a couple of months. This was Clover Finance, and in a single day it did 147% before crashing back down when it was launched on Binance. This is Mantra. It did 240% in just a few days after listing on Binance. This is Ordinals after listing, doing pretty much a 12x in just the space of a couple of months. So yeah, you get it. It's a big deal. But I've seen many people out there being like, oh, this coin's definitely going to get listed on Binance. And they're like, well, yeah, because I like it. But in order to understand whether or not a coin will list on Binance, we simply need to look at what Binance is doing and what Binance is looking for. So what better place to go than ChatGPT that has access to all this data and information? So I simply asked ChatGPT, like, what criteria is Binance looking for? How do they decide what they're going to list? Well, you'll notice after going through this list that not every project that Binance has listed includes all these things. Therefore, there has to be a little bit of a kind of a grey area in between. Because you've got project quality and team. Obviously, you need to have a decent quality project. They're not going to go and launch crap, because obviously it looks bad on the exchange. Project and technology, something innovative, something exciting. But, I go and tell you that Pepe coin is listed on Binance, which is not really particularly innovative or exciting from a tech perspective. So not all of these need to be basically hit in order for your coin to list. But if a good portion of them are, there's a good chance as well that you have a good opportunity to list. Community and market demand. Obviously, if you've got a really active community who are talking a lot about a crypto project that then gets listed on Binance, Binance knows that those people will then go and do the marketing for them and spread the word about that coin. It also means that lots of people are already trading it. It's good news for Binance, who makes money from fees for trading. Legal and regulatory and compliance, obviously important, thinking about what happened with XRP and that court case and other things. Security, audits, tokenomics, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the obvious stuff more so down here. So what's the first simple thing we can do to find the bigger market cap coins that are likely to list on Binance? We'll go through coinmarketcap.com and you can simply go and look at some of these coins up here that are not quite listed on Binance yet until you find one like Ton coin. Okay, so why would Ton potentially be listing soon? Project quality and team. Well, it's the official blockchain of Telegram with 900 million active users. Through games and stuff like Hamster Combat recently, it's onboarded like 200 million users into cryptocurrency. And that's pretty big news for crypto in general, but probably for Binance. Because if Ton is bringing people into the ecosystem, it makes sense that if they're getting Ton and interacting with the Ton wallet, the Binance probably wants to list them, because then it will bring volume into the Binance exchange. Not only that, if you come across to DeFiLlama.com, you can see that the volume on Ton is picking up aggressively and the TVL, etc. Ton is a bit of a no-brainer that is going to list at some point onto Binance. And keep coming down through the list, because many of these coins are already listed on Binance. Therefore, we're looking for coins that have kind of emerged during this bull market that have found themselves high up the list. Kaspa, another one. Let's go back to ChatGPT and look at what people are talking about. Product and technology, okay? Innovative technology. Kaspa, we know, has founders who are mentioned on the Ethereum white paper because of their kind of unique technology. It's pretty groundbreaking tech. Also, in terms of community and market demand, the community itself is probably one of the most aggressive communities out there. I mean, I literally made a video last week saying that Kaspa could probably do a 10x in a good bull market, and people were screaming and crying all over the show. And as you can see over on Twitter Score, the Kaspa kind of statistics, we see a bit of following growth, a significant following growth at the end of last year, and kind of continuing to show, well, a little bit of growth. Not particularly massive right now, but I think it will continue to grow because the community's very strong. And bearing in mind that Kaspa's market cap is sat around 4.6 billion, which is pretty high, it will still see more benefit from a listing perhaps than like Toncoin, which is sat at 17 billion. And then you can just keep going through the list to identify coins that will likely list in the future, because I would almost guarantee the biggest coins at the top of this list are the ones that are most kind of likely to launch. Another one is AIOZ, up 26% today already. Market cap at 700 million. It's just crept back inside the top 100. You can see it's already listed on Bingx Exchange. It's in the right niche for sure. AI, Deepin, etc. We look at lunarcrush.com. In the top of this at the moment, it's hard to find much more than kind of meme coins. We've got a few various exchanges. You've got AIOZ sat up here in number 31. So in terms of popularity, it's also offering that kind of popularity part as well as the narrative. The price action is clearly there. There's definitely big volume and stuff happening on AIOZ. In terms of community and stuff, I saw it being shouted out by Alex Becker the other day. Probably one of the most influential influencers in crypto. It would make sense that AIOZ would get listed. So in terms of the larger market cap picks, I almost think are guaranteed to list at some point in the coming few months. You got Ton, almost certain, Kaspa, AIOZ. But just one final caveat on that. I have spoken to the CEO of a very, very big crypto project who basically doesn't want to list on Binance. So there's one thing you should know, like to list on Binance, it's probably going to cost you a lot of money. And also there are people who are like the purist in crypto who don't really want to list on Binance because maybe Binance represents that kind of big VC kind of shark model that people don't really like in cryptos. So maybe some of the pure crypto projects don't really want to list on Binance if they're true to their word. But that's difficult to know whether or not that's the case. You just have to wait and see. Pay attention to AMAs, etc., because that's going to give away whether they have an intention to try and list on there or not. So those are all big crypto companies with either multi-billion-dollar market caps or near enough a billion-dollar market cap. Therefore, a list on Binance, you could see that maybe the price might 2x, 3x in the space of a couple of weeks after a listing. But there are also smaller market cap coins listed on Binance, and I found a really handy tab to go and find out how to find these. Now, before we find out how to find some smaller cap coins with a very high chance of listing on Binance, let's just jump across and check out the brand new merch store from the House of Crypto, where you can find subtly crypto-related clothing like this When Lambo hoodie that I am currently rocking. Now, simply go to whenlambo.shop and you can see down below some cool crypto merch. So if you want to be out there and you want to be showing people that you're subtly into crypto, without telling the whole world, then make sure you go and check out the When Lambo shop down below. All designs coming in various different colors, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, etc. So far, the Buy the Dip Classic Tee seems to be the biggest seller. So make sure you go and check them out, link down below, guys. Okay, so we've already looked at some projects that fulfill certain criteria for Binance. Ultimately, we know Binance wants to list projects that are going to do good trading volume for them and help build their reputation. So that's fairly obvious, but there's something else that's pretty obvious to me as well, and that's the fact that Binance is doing this because it wants to make money. And there's something you should know about Binance if you didn't already. Binance is not only an exchange, but it also has Binance Labs, which is its venture capital arm. They invest in brand new crypto projects that haven't even met the open market yet. And what's their incentive for doing that? Well, to make money, right? So they invest at low valuations, and then they basically incubate and help those projects to get off the ground, so that Binance can benefit from the success of those projects. And therefore, if Binance benefits from the success of those projects, they probably realize that they, as an exchange, hold probably the final winning piece for many of these crypto projects. Therefore, they can go and list projects that they help to incubate on their own exchange, which will give a massive boost to the project that they've incubated, and also help Binance make a big ROI on their initial investments. Therefore, go to dropstab.com, and you can see this is a pretty cool tool. I haven't even logged in, I haven't registered, I haven't paid for this, okay? You can use this very simply. At the top left, you can see featured tabs. I recommend going and checking some others like meme coins and potential airdrops if you wish, but click on Binance Soon. Now, what Binance Soon is basically showing us is a bunch of coins that has the potential to list on Binance. Why? Because they're not yet listed on Binance, but they've been invested in by none other than Binance Labs. But it's important to note, not all of these will necessarily list on Binance, and also we can't invest in all of them, but there's definitely some favorites here that I think are worth paying attention to. So let's simply narrow it down, right? Bitcoin right now has been on a run. It's now at $69,500. I'm pretty confident we're going to break beyond this resistance in a fairly short space of time. It's going to happen this week, and then we're going to shove beyond previous highs here and then move up towards the 80k level. And there are a few altcoins that have started to react along with this move from Binance, and those to me are the kind of the stronger coins in the space that are showing that they could be the early movers, right? Binance is likely to be listing the ones that have been performing well over a period of time. They don't typically go and list coins that many out there are calling dead coins. So what we want to do on Drops tab then is sort by coins that have been moving in the last like 3 months or so, and then you can see like what's at the top. Now we got Pstake, which is obviously a play on Pstake, which is obviously downright genius. And you can see this one is up 9% in the last 24 hours with a volume of $630,000, which doesn't sound like much, but the market cap is only $7.4 million. Now, if we come across the investor side, I can see Coinbase has backed them. I can see Binance Labs has backed them. We got Rise Labs, previously Sino Global Capital. You can see a bunch of Layer 1 VCs are backing them. They got a $7 million market cap. So now it's worth clicking on, finding out what it is, okay? Now, obviously, it's important to know that it is already listed on major exchanges that just don't happen to be Binance. OKX, major exchange. OKX is like a tier 1, okay? Tier 1s like Binance, Coinbase, OKX, maybe I'm missing one or two. Tier 2s would be like the KuCoins, Krakens, perhaps Bybits, maybe, and then tier 3s like MEXCs, Bitgets, etc. What makes a tier 3 is basically you can pay to get onto that exchange just by having a bit of cash behind you. Tier 1, you're not going to be able to pay your way into Binance, although maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm sure there's probably happened in the past. So simply then come across the website, find out what it's about. Access Bitcoin yield securely with Bitcoin liquid staking. Okay, this is interesting. I made a video yesterday about Solana and the Solana ecosystem, and we looked at previous bull market where Ethereum, certain coins on Ethereum did really well. We saw Uniswap, a DEX, do very well on Ethereum. We also saw Aave blowing up, which allowed for lending and staking on Ethereum. This is effectively offering a similar thing, access to Bitcoin yield securely with Bitcoin liquid staking. That's pretty interesting, okay? Because liquid staking allows you to basically stake your crypto coins like Ethereum, etc., and be able to continue to use your yields in the market. There is no other coin out there that has more liquidity locked in it than Bitcoin, and therefore a project that allows liquid staking on Bitcoin could be an enormously big thing. So looking into a chart, you can see it pretty much launched after the last bull market, basically results in a pretty nasty sell-off, as typical with any crypto project that launches after the bull market. It then goes down through. But what's interesting is to see how the volume and the buying volume has started to pick up when the market has looked a bit more bullish for Bitcoin in general. So this was around the time that Bitcoin topped out more recently. Pstake, okay, seems to be performing quite strongly. So yes, it has been pumping a little bit over the last 3 weeks or so, but remember it's still sat around $7 million market cap, and to me looks like a pretty solid one, because eventually there is a very good chance that Binance lists this. It's not guaranteed, of course, but Binance is invested. There's a good chance that Coinbase lists this as well, which is equally bullish, to be honest, to Binance listing. So yeah, go and check out Pstake and do some more research. I obviously made it very simple. I'm not here to tell you to go and ape into this particular coin or any other. Just trying to narrow down the field of search for us and allow you to go do your own effing research so that you can make your own decisions on whether you want to get into these coins or not. I haven't personally bought this, okay, because I've literally just done like 4 minutes of research, which I've shown you what I've just done. I don't know enough about it. Have a look whether it's kind of gaining like following and influence. Interesting, okay, so we have seen like the number of followers starting to grow, which is very positive, and you can see there's potentially a good opportunity here. How about we go back to Drops tab, go back to the Binance soon. You can see that there are like other ones on this list. Like there are tons, guys, and some of them have a really fairly reasonable chance of listing. Here is Amavia, yeah, a game, a project that lots of people are pretty bullish on. $57 million market cap, of which the volume is a reasonable chunk of that. That's an important thing to look for, okay? Make sure that the volume is a sizable chunk of that kind of market cap. Like Math, for example, is like 26 million. With an $80,000 volume doesn't really kind of get me that excited. You could sort by 24-hour volume if you wished. Polyhedra, okay, interesting. ZKJ, $118 million market cap. I would anticipate that the bigger volumes would probably belong to the coins that have the bigger chances of listing. Current market cap for this is 118 million. Fully diluted valuation 1.3. So go and look at tokenunlocks.com, whether or not it's going to be unlocking like over the next 2 years or so. If it's not going to be unlocking much in terms of the next 2 years, then don't worry too much about FDVs and all that stuff. It's all complete BS. We can see the price on ZKJ has been moving up quite nicely in the last kind of few days or so, but I don't know what it is. Polyhedra Network ZKJ. Go down through, have a look at the Twitter. Okay, nearly 1 million followers on Twitter. Remember, that's a very important thing that could see a listing on Binance happening. And we can see that there's been kind of growing, has kind of slowed down a little bit since March. Obviously, cryptos have been going down since March, so it's not unusual that that's probably happened. And then find out more about it, okay? Trustless cross-chain bridges made practical. Obviously, like interoperability is a key word in crypto. That means being able to trade cross-chains, etc. the first trustless, efficient, and secure cross-chain interoperability protocol with zero-knowledge proofs. Zero knowledge has basically been also talked about via Vitalik, saying that it's probably the future of being able to unlock blockchain trilemma. Like, obviously, if crypto goes more mainstream, zero knowledge proofs will be a very big part of it. So go and have a look at this, okay? I haven't done any research on it. I'm literally just showing how to kind of narrow down our field of search to find coins that have a good chance of listing on Binance. Therefore, we're looking at people with strong backers. We already know they've got Binance. Looking at decent volumes picking up, showing excitement, looking at followers and bigger communities growing from them, looking at the right narratives that might play out strongly into the future. And this is AKJ, as we know, listed after Binance, after Bitcoin and everything pumped, which was around the 11th of March, as you can see on this Bitcoin chart here. After that, Bitcoin went into decline, so did pretty much every new crypto project that got absolutely decimated. And what you can see is AKJ is now starting to bottom out after this initial pump and then dump. And that looks like a healthy kind of position potentially for an entry. If I'd already done more research into it, which I haven't done, therefore I won't be entering this anytime soon because I need to go and do deeper due diligence. Okay, hopefully this has cleared up a little bit more about how we can go and find potential crypto projects that will go and list on Binance. Remember, nothing is guaranteed in crypto, so go and do your own research, because if you're just relying on someone like me or anyone else to tell you which crypto projects to buy, then you're going to get absolutely destroyed, because no one's going to tell you exactly when to sell. Because if Alex Becker tells you to sell a crypto project at the top of the bull market with his following of 1 million people, he will dump the price of that crypto project. He will cut the price of that crypto project in literally half in a few seconds. So you need to get ahead of the game. If you want to get ahead of the game, make sure you're subscribed, because I'll teach you to fish. I'm not just going to give you the fish for free because you won't be able to eat in the future. I want you to be able to catch your own. Hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It helps me out more than you know. And I will see you Wednesday in another video. Bye-bye.